Welcome to the very second episode of Flash Chat. I have Andy again. He's our resident DC fan, and he's going to be our guest again.
Many years of studying up on DC Comics.
Many more than me, because mine has been about like 2 weeks. All right, so let's get right into this episode 2. It was last night. We watched it. I liked the pilot better, obviously. I think probably group consensus, but still a lot of positive reaction.
Yeah, I think it was still, it's still fun. They're still trying to make it, it's not super heavy and dark, but
good character development.
Good character development. And I think you need that. I mean, second episode in, if you don't know who Flash is, you're still getting backstory on who he is and why he does what he does. So I think, I think it was good development.
I think so. And it's interesting. We were talking about this. It seems like they're going to kind of do a serial type thing with each episode, like a villain per episode and then one big bad. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the best way for them to get through the beginning of this while they're continuing to fill in all the backstory and bring in new characters. They'll do a villain of the week type thing, a meta-human of the week.
What do you think about this week's?
Multiplex, I don't know. I mean, Actually, I had never heard of him before, and I probably should have, but, I think he was a pretty minor character. The best thing I would say about it is that, they're going to bring in these smaller characters to begin with. That, it's okay if they kind of kill them off because they're not the big guns yet.
I think it's good practice. I think that's what they're building up the Flash's, all his powers. And it was a little overkill, and I was noticing on Twitter too much of the you gotta believe in yourself, Barry. It was a little much.
I agree. But the thing is at some point, he's got to get to the point where he is a superhero, and he does believe in everything he does. So to get there, you got to spend an episode pumping a guy up and telling him you are awesome. Now go do it. You know? And we're probably done with that. One episode, everybody's saying go get him, and hopefully we're through with all that.
Taper off on it, but it was good. I like the. Especially, I like the scene where he's running and he could find the guy. He could find the correct prime multiplex because of the bead of sweat.
Well, and
that was cool.
Yeah, and I also like the comedy part of it. He's running to save people from a fire, but he overshoots it by 6 blocks. All right, you got to turn back around and go do it.
They do have some good comedic moments in there. I want to talk about Caitlin Snow. She is hiding something. There was the quote, "We were all struck by the lightning." And she did mention the fiance had passed in this episode, but there's something, I think she's a metahuman.
Yeah, too. I think everybody in that group is eventually going to become a metahuman. Now, if that means they're good or bad, I don't know, but I think eventually that core group of Star Laboratories employees will probably all become somebody.
Yeah, somebody. I think it's interesting. I really want a Star Lab sweatshirt.
I do too.
Our street team needs to be rocking those.
I think we need to get those.
I may Pinterest that. Just saying.
I'm kind of surprised that they brought in like Simon Stagg, and this is a spoiler if you haven't seen it yet, and then offed him at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a huge character in a DC universe, but there's so much potential in that Stag Industries. And then Java, his bodyguard, was supposed to be this big Neanderthal man that can, goes toe to toe with Flash, and they just killed him off right away too. Sorry, again, spoiler.
So he seems dead.
Well,
you never know.
Everybody kind of seems dead.
Like a soap opera.
Yeah. Well, and it's even multiplex. You never know. I mean, who's to say that?
Up, show him.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's to say he didn't split off somehow before he was falling and like grab onto a railing or something?
Speaking of that last scene, so we're getting to the second episode where we've had, spoiler, the second ending of an episode was Sketchy Wells. I'm making hashtag Sketchy Wells.
I love it.
What's he up to? I mean, so a lot of people on Twitter were saying that because of this scene, they're thinking that he's not like future Flash, he's more of a reverse Flash, but I don't know. I don't know.
I think there's a reason he needs Flash to become Flash and stay in that role. Now, what that is, I'm not sure yet. I mean, I don't necessarily think he's a bad guy. I mean, obviously he is because he did what he does. But I think his motives, I think, eventually will probably be to help Flash become Flash.
Something's up. Yeah. I'm interested to figure that out. I just like seeing Tom Cavanaugh be evil. That's funny.
Which is awesome.
Because he just seems to be.
Come on, Ed.
What's up? Ed, you're being mean. Man. So, my favorite quote of the episode, and I don't know if you have one, but my favorite quote, I want to do this each time, is I just thought it was such a funny little moment where Iris asks him, "You're not in the right clothes. How quick can you go home and change?" And he was like, pretty fast. And that made me laugh. So that was my favorite quote. Do you
I didn't do one. I'll do one for next week. I promise. I will find one for next week.
Tell us your favorite quotes too.
Yep.
And I thought my favorite scene was the ending scene, but I thought it was interesting the scene where she's pouring the sugar and he's going around her talking.
I was thinking that same thing because they've done two different things now when it comes to Flash. They've sped him up really, really fast and put the lightning bolts behind him, and that is pretty cool. But then they've also done that reverse, and it kind of
slows time.
Slow everybody down, kind of like that X-Men Days of Future Past, which was one of my favorite scenes in there.
Yeah.
When Quicksilver slowed everybody down and did all his things. So they've kind of taken a nod to that. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I always wonder how he knows the exact time that he has for her to finish that sugar pour. I think about these things. We want to remind people tonight is Arrow.
Arrow, and after last week, it's going to be a good one. Sometimes I don't like doing these because I don't want to give all these big spoilers, but you know, I think they're going to be dealing with the aftermath of somebody last week who died in the show, and I think that's going to be shockwaves through Arrow and his group.
Thanks for watching this episode of Flash Chat. Tune in next Wednesday. We're going to have some more special guests, different Andys on. We'll have different Andys.
Yeah, just sitting in until we get some better Andys.
So we have better Andys, but it will be more Andys. So stay tuned, see who's going to be our guest next week. And if you have anything you'd like to contribute, write me at JustWCCB on Twitter or Facebook.com/JustWCCB. We'll look forward to hearing from you. Bye.
See ya.